Joe, I'm starting to fall in love with these parts of the show. Did anybody write one in?
In another hour, we'll find out. With,
It's
nigga.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, at 4 o'clock, we'll get to what the part of the show look like. These newbies think they calling too many shots around here. Hey, Mark, don't touch that dial. Part of the show's coming.
I ain't in no hurry. I saw your eyes going up and down on that board. That's why.
I got my own board.
Okay.
I don't deal with that fucking board. And don't look where my eyes is going.
I got to.
Oh, shit. What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. Before I even get into my spiel about what I'm going to talk about, the funniest part of this exchange is Joe really didn't have any other topics that he wanted to broach. They literally jumped into the part of the show, even though he was BSing on that. And another funny thing, Mona and everybody up there was calling Joe out for being a bitch a couple of episodes ago. Yet at the end of this episode, he started acting in the same manner. But guys, I'm telling y'all, I've been telling y'all for a couple of months now, Joe and Marc is a thing. All the focus is on Flip right now, and rightfully so. As much as I'm trying to defend Flip, rightfully so, the microscope and all eyes are on you. But I'm paying attention to the bigger beef that's brewing. And Joe is feeling challenged by Marc. Because with Queen's Flip, and I've been breaking this down too, and people ain't understand what I'm saying. With Queen's Flip, Joe knew he could take that mentor role with him and then alter his direction and trajectory that way. He didn't have to battle Flip. He could just tell Flip what to do and he'd listen. Marc, on the other hand, seems like he's trying to A-mic the entire show. And I know Mona just got into a scrap with the A-mic and not knowing what an A-mic was, even though she's fully exudes what an A-mic is. And at times she goes too long, but I'm telling y'all, Joe is looking at Marc like, whose show do you think this is? And because you're getting a lot of viral moments, you're starting to think that this show is yours. And I know we had an ongoing shtick of you trying to belittle everyone and you trying to devalue everyone and trying to get on EN status with the JBN. But those are just jokes, right? Because you're doing an awful lot. You're doing an awful lot. I've been seeing in the Patreon comments. I haven't been on the YouTube comments in a minute, but I've been seeing on the Patreon comments everybody speaking about how often Marc segues. Hey, you got to slow down. Why are you trying to segue from point A to point B to point Z? And Joe's been noticing that too. Hey, nigga, you don't control shit. Because we'll hear this clip and we'll automatically assume it's because of the time. And everything was going good, so because they're on time, we could finish the show. Well, no, it ain't got shit to do with time. This is not a joke. Why do y'all feel like y'all have so much control up here? Because I'm giving y'all leeway? And it doesn't make it any better that the old cult hosts up here are telling y'all that y'all are getting away with more shit than they did. And then y'all wonder why Flip feels the way he feels. And it's still happening with Flip. Apparently, Flip and Mona got into a real altercation to where Mona cried. Boo-hoo. But Flip is still there. How many times are people going to be allowed to get into bullshit, cause grievances and discrepancies with everybody up there, yet you don't reprimand them in any kind of way? Flip had a half-day suspension. They told him not to show up on the main pod and still told him to show up for the Patreon. And because Flip's been getting away with so much bullshit, he came an hour late. What's the difference between Marc and Mona? Especially when they haven't been, quote-unquote, getting in altercations with anybody but Flip. Now, I want to say that, but Marc has had a couple of scuffles to the point where the audience is starting to turn on him. And not fully. And not him as a person, but him on the show. They're starting to point out a lot of these discrepancies. I never thought it would get to this point with Joe. I thought it was always going to be playful banter. I thought Joe was always going to shit on his political takes. But now, Joe is calling him out for his stance on his show. Hey, nigga, stay in your lane. And that's probably going to be the title of the video. Stay in your lane, nigga. But on the flip side, because I've been shooting a lot at Marc, on the flip side, what happens when Marc fights back? We already know he's quick with it. We already know he's the smartest on the show. We already know the weight that he holds in this community. And speaking of which, a quick side note, I saw FD streams. I saw what he was saying about Marc Lamont Hill and how he's above reproach and how he's above critique. Like, that's crazy. They hold Marc and that community in such high regard. He can make no mistakes in their eyes. So when people like me and the people who are less intellectual, quote unquote, than the others speak on Marc, it's seen as hate as opposed to, no, this is our perspective and this is what's happening. This is what's happening. So, Marc, I'm telling you right now, the more you continue to defend your intellectual friends, the more Joe's going to watch you outside of the pod to see how often you defend him and the crew. I'm telling you now. So as public as you were going on his broadcast to defend Tiffany and Angela and everyone else, he's going to have to see that same fervor for the JBP when it gets called into question in the future. And trust me, it will get called into question, because now the intellectuals are starting to realize that they could use Joe as a launching pad for themselves as well. It's not just the small creators. It's not just the people that are creating Joe Budden channels that are living and eating off of Joe. Check your YouTube algorithms. Check all the black people that you watch. All of them. Most of them have at least one video speaking on the legitimacy of the Joe Budden podcast. Because a lot of these people look like his show is beneath them. Meanwhile, he's setting up a blueprint for all of us as content creators. And I'm trying to speak on that aspect more. But Marc, I've been warning you about the Patreon before this eruption, because this is a slight eruption. Joe is being dead ass with you. I've been telling you about the Patreon. I've been telling you that you're about to butt heads with Joe because he's going to sense that you're trying to alpha male him on his own show. And now he's going to make a spectacle of it. And notice how this is all happening after your eruption. I'd be worried about that too, because now he's going to blow up at you and he's going to be expecting the same thing that you did to flip towards him. But when you can't show it because you're not going to bite the hand that feeds you, it's going to place you in an awkward position. It's going to place you in an awkward position. But as always, y'all know I'll be tripping. I'll be putting too much into this, apparently. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Was this just for play? Is Joe getting fed up? Is there something there? I don't know. And Imani, I hate to give Imani a random shout, but I'm seeing what's going on with your Patreon numbers, and I'm going to continue to speak on everyone's Patreon numbers because, newsflash, the video that I speak on Patreon today, and I might release it to YouTube just to give y'all exclusivity or an introduction to what's going on over there in Patreon land. I'm going to speak heavily on what Joe said at the end of this episode because he meant that shit 2 years in advance. I wonder why he has that much knowledge to what direction his channel's going in and who's been doing a lot of platforming for Joe. But anywho, y'all stay tuned for that. I appreciate all the subscriptions. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the recent subscriptions and support. Y'all are showing me that this thing is still rocking. The thing is still moving. We're just going to keep going in that direction. And like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rocking over here. You already know what it is. I'll see y'all a little later. Peace.